got Dig Dug pulled into the shop today, and I'm working on a bunch of the little things that aren't finished in this truck. I know that project vehicles are never fully finished. You seem to be working on them forever. The first thing I want to work on is replacing the shock on this corner. The bypass shock doesn't match the other three. It has the right travel length, but it doesn't have the right collapsed length. It's 1.5 inches shorter. So this corner hasn't been riding right or sitting right, but the new shock, the correct one, came in, and I'm gonna get it swapped out right now. I'm gonna get this tire out of here to make it a little easier to remove the shock. This is a beautiful sight in here. I have loved these shocks. I know we all use Bilstein 5100 series in our trucks and cars, and they are great. Some people don't even know that they make these, but they make fantastic bypass shocks and coilover shocks. I have run these really hard, and they have not let me down at all. The bypasses are set up in a way that they can be very progressive, so that last little bit of travel, they get really, really firm, and I have never bottomed them out. I'm measuring the pressure in this shock just because I'm curious what's in here, and I'm going to measure the other side too, and I'll match that pressure when I put these back together. Right now, this one's ready to come out. All right, this is the old shock that was in there. Let me grab the new one. Here it is. Okay, here are the two shocks side by side, and you can see that the one that I had installed is a little bit shorter down here. It's 1.5 inches shorter, and that's creating a little bit of a problem. Also, you can see that the valving is different. The bypasses are in different locations, and there's a different number. This one's got 2 compression valves right here, and 1 more on the back side, and then 2 rebound valves. This one only has 1 rebound valve, and then it's got 2 compression valves on the other side. So this one has 5 different zones. The one that I'm putting in only has 3, but it matches all of my other shocks. So that's what's going back in my truck. It's a lot easier to install when there's no pressure in the shock because it doesn't want to extend. So I'm going to install it first, and then we'll fill it with nitrogen. These are just little spacers that go on that spherical bearing. Got to get it lined up here on the bottom to get it to go in straight. That should be pretty close. Oh, one of them jumped out. Okay, bolts going in. That lined up good. Okay, my nut's already threaded on this other side. I just need to move it across. Okay. I'll tighten that up. The top one I get to right up in there. There we go. Okay, this shock looks really good in here. You can see it's a tight fit, that there's not a lot of space between all this stuff around here, but that's just what happens. Things get busy and they're snug. Not a lot of room there, but there's enough. I've got the same amount on the other side, and they've never contacted. There's no rubbing anywhere, so we should be just fine. Let's go see what the pressure is on the other side so we can match it over here. I've got the nitrogen bottle hooked up over here with a power tank regulator on it. All right, I'm filling that up. We're trying to go to 150 PSI. Okay, that's pretty right on 150 PSI. You might be wondering, why nitrogen? Why do we fill these with nitrogen? Sometimes they fill important tires like race cars and airplanes with nitrogen. And it does have a little bit less thermal expansion and contraction with temperature, but it is not very much. It's also dry. Sometimes they call it dry nitrogen because there's no moisture in these nitrogen tanks we fill them with. So that's good, there's no moisture in there. But there's lots of other gases we could use. We could use CO2 or oxygen or argon or neon or radon or ogason or... So they also call nitrogen an inert gas. And it's only kind of an inert gas. Nitrogen isn't a noble gas, so it's not totally inert. There's nitrogen in other things like nitrous oxide or TNT. The N is for nitrogen. Trinitrotoluene. Nitrogen is pretty inert. It triple bonds to itself, so it's in the form of N2 when it's in a gas. So it's stable and it doesn't combine with things. So it's not gonna mess with the tires, the rubber in the tires, and it won't corrode steel or aluminum on the wheels. CO2 you could use, but it does combine with water to form weak acids. So that could give you some corrosion issues. But in a pinch, if you had to fill these shocks with CO2 for a while, it would really be no big deal at all. You could use air as well, and it really wouldn't be a problem. But nitrogen is the preferred gas, and I think the main reason is it's the cheapest. The air is almost 80% nitrogen, and so nitrogen is really cheap. CO2 is a little bit harder to make. It just comes from combustion byproducts. I say a little bit harder. You can get it from combining methane or burning coal or anything really. So CO2 is not hard to make, but nitrogen is really easy. I'm gonna fill up the other side. There are 2 caps on these. They're really just to keep dirt and gunk out, but usually they're on there pretty good. You'll see underneath this cap is another cap. So under that cap is the second cap. Then I can attach my valve. All right, 0 PSI in there. And again, we're just gonna fill it up to 150. Okay, that should do it. Filling the shocks is pretty straightforward, but you do have to be careful with your order of operations. You gotta open and close the valves in the right order. Right now, I've still got a couple hundred PSI in this hose, so I need to open this valve back up, and I need to close this one off on the regulator. All right, that got rid of all my pressure in the line. I can double check, make sure it's open. Now it's really easy to disconnect. If you try to disconnect this under pressure, it's locked up and it's really hard to open and close it. This setup is pretty slick for filling these shocks. The next thing that I want to get done today is taking off the rest of these tires because I'm switching them out to Patagonia MTO2s. That's right, I just love them. They work so good here in southern Utah. These are the new ones that I'm putting on right here. I've got 5 of these. I hope to get one mounted in the bed someday on a spare. But I love this tread pattern. I love how soft and flexible they ride. And they just work really, really good in sand and the slick rock that we have here. I also don't need to air these down quite as much to get good flex and flotation out of these tires. And that's important because I'm still not running bead locks. I have these really cool Vision wheels that I like on this truck, but they're not bead locks. This one over here, I already broke the bead on. Oh, and let me show you what happened. I actually broke the bead breaker. Yeah, it was bad. You can see the holes are all out around. It is really bent. I was breaking the bead on that 40-inch tire over there, and I really had to put some pressure on the jack, and it just started to bend. It started to break the welds. It started to buckle these tubes up here on the top, and it was done. So I know I promised some of you drawings on the website for how to build this bead breaker, and that's why I haven't delivered yet, is because I don't want to give you this piece of trash. I need to fix this. I need to reinforce it better. Probably some gussets in here, some reinforcement on the top. These holes that I didn't end up using probably aren't helping the strength any. so don't drill those. But I'll get this thing beefed up and make sure it's working good, and then I will post drawings of it on the website. You can see a little parent metal ripping away from the welds here, but better penetration might have helped. I don't know. And it'll be easy to reinforce it and make it 2 or 3 times as strong, and then we shouldn't have problems. It is interesting that you always learn the most from your failures, kind of a life lesson there. I do have another welder coming that is a pulse MIG welder, so I'm gonna be playing with that soon in the future. Okay, back to these tires. Look at this. The axle sits level when I pick it up on the lift now. These tires will get put back on later. The next thing that I want to work on is the back of the truck. Right back here, I put in this wood deck because Dig Dug's always had a wood deck in the back. And when I put this in, I was kind of in a hurry and I didn't have time to oil these boards. They're made out of tiger wood. Oh, wow! No, not that kind of tiger wood. This is a wood that comes from Brazil. Don't worry, it's responsibly sourced. And it's really cool. It's super hard and it's really oily. And it does great in beds like this, but I'm still gonna put oil on it. It's called Ipe oil, and it should make it last a long, long time and look really cool. This wood has an awesome kind of a blackish, orangish grain to it, probably why it's called tiger wood, and I like it. So I'm gonna pull these out, we'll get them oiled up, and we'll get it all put back together. It'll look cooler when I clean them up. Brought home a little bit of Sand Hollow with me. The boards are all numbered so I can get them in the exact same spot. And I've got my Ipe oil here, which I've never tried before. But on the old wood, the white oak deck that I had in the bed before, I wished I'd done something to preserve it. So we're gonna give this a try. I'm gonna go clean these up so I don't oil over all of the dirt on these. Oh yeah, look at that grain. The color pops out when you get it wet like that. I'm just gonna wipe the dust off each one of these before I seal it up. If you're interested in getting tiger wood like this for a trailer or a truck or even a deck, I got mine from Finest Brazilian Decking. They were super cool to work with. I totally recommend them. A fan wrote in and told me about them. I'd never worked with them before. This is already a big improvement, and I think with the oil on there, it will look even better. So I'll go take that outside and figure out how to apply this stuff. The wood is good. I really like the finish. I like how this looks, and I'm ready to put it back in. But there's a couple things I want to do underneath this area that it covers up before I get it all back together. I want to reinforce the limit straps a little bit so when the truck goes airborne, I don't bend the brackets back here. There's also a little bit of wiring left to do right in this area. That'll give me brake lights and tail lights. Then it can be a daily driver, which will be really fun. I'm going to lift this up because I think it'll be easier to weld from the bottom side. I'll take the straps out and I'm gonna weld another bracket right in here. This fits up in here perfect now. Well, almost perfect, but we'll weld it up. This line here was where my limit strap is, so I'm putting this about an inch over from there. All right, one more over on this side, right here. That should make these limit strap brackets a lot stronger, and I won't worry about that flexing anymore. Oh, I see I missed another weld back in here. I'm gonna get that really quick. And then I need to do a little bit of painting. Some of this metal is raw and it's really hard to get back in here when the wood's in. So I'm gonna paint it right now. I'm gonna be using the POR 15 back here. And my secret trick for keeping the lid from gluing itself on is sandwich baggies. Okay, I'm gonna rough this up a little bit because this stuff likes some tooth. And if it's a grippy surface, it sticks like crazy and lasts forever. I think I'm ready to paint. I should wear gloves, but I'm tired of crawling in and out of here, so I'm just gonna go for it. And this is still rusty, I know that. I've been called out before for painting over rust, but that's what POR stands for, is paint over rust. It likes rust, it sticks good to rust, so I'm not gonna clean all of the rust off of here. I just got the really loose rust off, and then I scrub it with this brush, and I spray it down with some air, then I'll hit it with the paint. This can's really old. I was looking a little chunky. Should be fine. Found a few more spots to paint down here. Uh-oh, I got a little bit on my finger. I can try to wipe it off, but that's gonna be there for like a month.
It's not coming off, Shine.
I keep finding new spots to paint. Found a couple of bolts here that I think will hold this box in place. They're not self-tappers, but I think they'll tap as they go in. It's feeling pretty good. The paint still looks wet, but I let it sit overnight. It just has a glossy finish on it. It's nice and dry and hard, so I'm ready to start putting things back together. I've already got the wiring tucked out of the way here. It's looking good. I'm gonna move on and do the limit straps. I'm gonna bolt those back together, and then I think I can put the wood in. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Much better. All that paint in this hole now, the bolt won't fit through. We'll make it go though. These limit straps were just barely snug when the suspension was all the way down, but I'm gonna tighten them up so they stop about an inch before the axle's fully extended, because if they hit hard, they'll stretch a little bit. Okay, right about there is tight. I'm gonna go about an inch past that. I'm doing the same thing over on this side. I'm gonna pull this up about an inch and lock it in place. I think everything is finished down here that I wanted to get done right now. Time to put the wood back in. These are all going back together really good. They're fitting in there. I'm glad I numbered them. The screws are dropping right in and they look good. I think they're gonna last a long time. This one right here is a little bit twisted, but I think it's gonna pull down nice. Okay, last one. This adapter plate is the last piece that I need to put back into the bed. And this was custom made for me by Devin at Stack Smarter. Stack Smarter is the sponsor for today's video. And Devin met me just the other day at Sand Hollow so we could test out some of his products. Here's how it went. I'm here with Devin from Stack Smarter, and we've got his mounting plates installed in the back of Dig Dug.
We've got all the tools that we need. We've got the inflator that mounts right into the pack out, repair kits, we got recovery ropes, anything that we need to have a great adventure here in Sand Hollow.
We're going up the chute because of the extreme angle. It'll be a great test to see if this plate is really gonna hold. Okay, we're going up. We'll see how these mounting plates hold. How are they doing back there?
I think they're holding in.
Woo! Okay, if they'll handle that, they should handle anything. These mounting plates and adapter plates are a patented product, and they're made from a solid chunk of high-density polyethylene. That means you can put screws in them anywhere to attach them to anything. Stack Smarter makes products for all the different storage systems, not just Milwaukee Packout. They also make a bunch of other storage box attachments and products that you can check out at stacksmarter.com. Remember to use the code TOMTOM at checkout for 10% off your order, or you can just scan the QR code right over here. Time to get this installed. Easy peasy. While I was working on the bed under here, I noticed that my drive shaft was leaking. Yeah, that's not a thing that should happen. It's dripping right off of here. I've got a puddle down on the floor. I probably didn't put silicone on the splines when I put this back together, so the gear oil slowly leaks out of the transfer case, past the flange, down onto my floor. But this is the perfect time to take care of that. I think we're ready to come apart here. That's the last bolt. Oh, it's gonna need a little help. There we go. Right out of here is where it's leaking. I just need to remove this nut and try to seal it back up. Not big enough. That's a little loose, but I think that'll get it. There we go. Okay, that should pull right off now. Man, it looks like it's sealed. See the silicone on there? It looks like it should be good. I don't know why that's leaking. Oh, there it goes. I'm making a mess. Looks like there was only a little bit of silicone out on the end of the splines and on the face of this. I'm gonna get it all cleaned up and then load those splines up with silicone and put it back together. There's almost no silicone on these splines. I think it was just on the face underneath the nut. This time around, I'm gonna put a lot of silicone in here. And I'm gonna rub it into these splines really good. Make sure I get this everywhere. All right, that's looking a lot better. All right, that is loaded up heavy. Let's see how we do here. It should push out a lot of silicone. Oh, it did. I'm gonna work that back in there. You can see it gushing out here. That should seal for sure. Leaks should be all gone. I just gotta bolt this all back together. Then we can move back up to the top side. No more leaky drive shaft. It is finished. On to the next thing. The next thing I want to work on is this latch. Right now it's not working. If you close the door and lock it, you're kind of hosed. You can't unlock it, you can't open the door. So I'm gonna replace the latch because we've tried adjusting this multiple times and this is original and it's just worn out and not working. So this one is going in. There's a bunch of little clips inside this door that hold these rods together and they're really hard to get to. So I'm gonna undo the latch here and see if I can move it around inside the door and then maybe I can get to them. All this sand in here is probably not helping this latch any. All right, now it's moving. Got it. I still have to wiggle this whole latch out of here. I think it has to go all the way down and then over and then back up. That is it. This is a 73 and I think that's the original latch. All right, this is the new one. It looks a lot better. New one's going in. I think attaching all those little rods will be a lot easier than removing them. Right there maybe. All right, that should stay put. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Got the last rod hooked up. My door lock is working. Hopefully it works when the door is closed still. So let's tighten these up and give it a try. All right, I gotta get out of the way now. It's pretty high. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's a good sign. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna lock it. Okay, let me go around and see if it'll unlock. That's the real test. Oh, I should have rolled down the window. This would have been easier. No! It doesn't.
A few moments later.
It took a little fiddling with, but the latch is working, so this project is done. On to the next one. The Patagonias are looking so good on the Vision wheels. I'm gonna go get these on the truck. I should go back over to the sand chute and try it again with these tires because I think they would do a lot better over there. But I really hate the sand chute, so I don't want to do that. Maybe someday. I will come back and hit these with a torque wrench. Right now I'm just getting them tight enough that I can set the truck down. I need to get one of those torque limiting bars so that I can go around and get them all really close. Right now I just give it a little bit. My shifter down here is what I want to work on next. When I was driving, I had tons of hot air blowing in through this open hole down here. So I bought this really cool boot from JB Fabrication. It's going to go right on here, but it's going to take a little work to make it fit. So I'm going to actually build the sticks now instead of using this old piece of rebar. And we'll get this mounted on there, and that should keep the cab a little cooler and quieter. I went through the scrap pile and I found some steel that's really close to the right size. These are part of an old shock that I saved for today. I didn't even know it at the time. And these almost fit down in there. If I grind them a little bit, they should slip right in and they'll be great shift levers. But I only have 2 of them, so I'm also going to chop down this extra long drill bit I made for something a long time ago. Oh, look at that. That could be a cool shifter knob. I should have left it on. Maybe we'll leave that for now. Okay, I ground these down so they're fitting in here into the shifter. Just like that. That one's still kind of loose. We'll figure out how to tighten it up later. And the boot's gonna go over the top of them. I feel like a Canadian talking a boot. A boot, the boot. Eh?
Well, gee, eh? You're one big beaver. No kidding, eh?
Got 2 feet going in the same hole. There we go. All right. Kind of like that. That's neutral. These are back. They'll move forward. Okay, so it's gonna sit in here right like this. But I've got some bolts down here in the way that the heads of them are sticking up so this won't sit flat. My idea is to pull those bolts out and countersink them and put flathead bolts in there. And then this should sit down better. I want to get a good seal. I'll probably caulk around the edges or use that windshield gasket maker stuff, that urethane or body filler. I don't know what, but we'll get a good seal so there's not a bunch of air leaking through. Okay, Angela ran over to Ace and picked up the screws. Check these out.
2 of these beauties, flathead, quarter 20s.
Good job. She also got popcorn.
Of course.
Want some?
I've already eaten one. I'm good.
It's delicious. Will you stop that, please?
These are going in. I ground down the head on this old drill bit so it pretty closely matches these flathead screws. See if those will go in. Oh, that's looking great. That is nice and flat. That should seal up. Okay, those are beautiful. I think we can drill a couple of holes now, or at least figure out where we need to drill to mount this plate. I'm not going to use them all. There's a bunch on there, but I'll use 3 or 4. The shifter boot's all mounted in. It looks like it's gonna work really good. These shifter knobs are gonna work good too. They'll need to be bent up a little bit. There's a little work to do down here. Got a little painting to do, but this is gonna be a big improvement. It's starting to get late and I wanna get this out on the road so I can feel how those shocks are gonna work out. So let's get out of here. I got Angela with me here on this test drive tonight.
Hey, it's a beautiful night to drive into the sunset. I got audio.
I drove over here to check on some stuff that I've got on this trailer, some junk. This was an old 4-wheeler that our family used forever until Peanut ate it. It ate up the wiring and the seat, but I think I might try to rebuild this thing. And I've got the old white WJ over here that I'm gonna try and scrounge some parts off of soon for some other projects. And then I think it's going to the junkyard because I just don't need the rest of it. There's lots of good stuff in here. I think this old seat would be awesome in the 79 Cherokee. I wish I had the driver's side. Maybe I can find one at a junkyard. They fold forward so I could get around them with the 2-door. There's a lot of other good stuff under the hood. I've already got the engine out. That's what's getting rebuilt in the shop, but there's a few other parts I need to get off of this. The knuckles on the front of these are good to swap onto XJs. They give you better steering geometry, and the brakes can be swapped on too. But I think this knuckle on this side got broke in the wreck. Yeah, that tire's sitting funny. Yeah, I don't know if that can be saved. I've got some disc brakes on the back here that I might swap onto a Jeep Liberty, my son-in-law's. He's got drum brakes on his, and I think these would swap over. So there's some stuff to tear off this thing. I'm not quite ready to throw it away yet.
I absolutely love this white Jeep. Lots of good memories with it. I'm sad to see it go, but it's time.
We've only got a couple minutes of light left for our drive. Well, I can definitely tell that it feels more level, but it's not a huge difference. I mean, it was just sitting a little bit low on this corner, and I put the shocks about to the same pressure that they were before, so it rides about the same. Not that we're getting a great test on these neighborhood roads. I need to get it back out in the dirt.
I miss Johnny. It's been a long day.
The Patagonias on here feel really good. I can feel a difference even at full pressure. They just have a little bit smoother ride. And I don't notice any extra noise with them. They're gonna be awesome. I wanted to start working on the dash in this video, but there's not enough time. And there's a lot to do here. I've got the AC that I need to get in here. I've got the gauges that need to get wired up. I've got the whole SwitchWorks panel, which will include the locker switches in it. And there's a bunch of these Ron Francis wiring circuits that need to get routed all over the place. So I think I might do an entire video about the dash. I've also had a lot of questions about how I built it. I kind of stripped out all of the Chevy stuff and just built this flat panel in here. So I could show some of that too. So that'll probably be a future video, maybe in a month or so. I got a couple more things to show you here. Check this out. This came from Rob at Resurgence Automotive. He found it at a swap meet up in northern Utah somewhere and thought of me. So we're gonna find a cool spot on the wall for this. This license plate from Germany, or I think they call it a tag over there. Let me know if that's right. This came from a fan named Thomas who had this on a Camaro, a classic Camaro of his. So he sent it to me. Thank you very much. It'll go up here over with the other license plates. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and thanks for watching.